Hello, my name is Cindy. Thank you for coming to this video. And I just want to say good morning to my friends and thank you so much for coming. I am in New Hampshire and right now it is, 34 degrees. 34 degrees and the gas is $2.79 per gallon. I've seen it a few cents less than that. It was $2.73 there for quite a while. Now it's gone up a few cents, but hovering over the 270s. And so how are you? Thank you for coming to the video. Hello, Teacher Kelly. Thank you so much for coming. I'm a teacher. I'm on my way to school, and I'm just kind of driving to school this morning, saying good morning, and hello, it's Friday. Yay. I do a study hall at the end of the day at my school, and it's kind of rough, at the end of the day to try and do a study hall, but, and the students that I have in the study hall, I don't have for classes, so I can't tell them what to do. But, yeah, we talk sometimes, and yesterday I was like, it's Friday. Guess what day tomorrow is? It's Friday. And I was like happy about it. And the kids said, fry yay. And I said, yeah, fry yay. And they're like, you're the first teacher that said that. I'm probably not. They're just saying that. But I thought it was kind of funny. Fry yay. Yes, it's Friday. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm actually packed to go do an event with my daughter and her family tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. And we have school, and at our school we get done at 1 hour earlier on Fridays, so that makes it even extra specially nice. So Fridays are great, and we're on our way to school. It is a little cold today, 34 degrees, and I work about 40 minutes from where I live, so it's a little bit of a drive, but it's worth it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. My son is a senior this year, so he is graduating from high school, and so it's hard to keep it together all the time, thinking about, this is the last September is over, the last October is over. We are now into November, and we will be getting to the end of the year. So we'll just take it one day at a time. But tomorrow is one of my daughter's birthdays, and she does not live around here. So I wish I could be with her today or tomorrow. But thankfully we have, we have the ability to communicate. So we can say happy birthday. And how are you today? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I've gotten some support on my videos the last few times, and I really appreciate that. I don't know why. Maybe we're just scrolling through. And, but anyway, thank you so much if you're scrolling through. Thank you for the watch time. I appreciate it. The sky is really pretty. I started this video, or this car chat, to kind of show my activities, the scenery around, like it's fall. It was fall, it was really pretty. Now it's kind of fall, and it's kind of like brown stuff. Leaves are falling off the trees. Eventually we'll have prettier weather with some snow and all that, and it will get cold. And what I do in the winter is every single day is a day closer to summer. I kind of endure the winter in my older age. But this road is really nice. This is a newly paved road. They kind of worked on this highway, and it's kind of a nice ride to work. Hello all. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you for the watch time on my channel. I really appreciate it. Well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about my Rubik's Cube adventure. So I'm learning the Rubik's Cube. I have a teach geometry class, and as you can imagine, the students aren't really that thrilled about it. They don't really just crave learning theorems and proofs, axioms, and postulates. I don't understand why not, but they're just not that thrilled about it. And one of the people that kind of complains about geometry class is a Rubik's Cube extraordinaire. What do we call it? Cuber. And so I said, well, let me go on Amazon. I'm going to see if I can get some Rubik's Cubes, see how much they are. So I actually was able to get a dozen Rubik's Cubes. And so I bought the Rubik's Cubes, brought them to class, and I said, you guys are going to teach me the Rubik's Cube. And it's been interesting because I've learned a lot from the Rubik's Cube. And one of the things I've learned is that the people who learn the Rubik's Cube are the ones who pick it up. The ones that give it a try. Like, not everybody who gives it a try knows how to do it, but those who do know how to do it gave it a try. You know, it's kind of like math class. You don't really know if you're good at it until you actually give it a try. Or anything else in life, right? And another thing is that you have to think when you're using the Rubik's Cube. You know, you have to put your brain into this thinking mode that a lot of kids are afraid of these days. And you have to think differently. Like, when you look at it, there's like an algorithm, they say, up, over, down, back. That's pretty popular. And so there's an algorithm you have to remember when you get in, but you have to put it in a certain placement in order for that to work. Hey, thank you everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'm talking right now about the Rubik's Cube. And I am a Christian, and I thought it was interesting that a lot of the people that talk about how to solve the Rubik's Cube, you start out with a daisy on the top with the yellow in the middle and the white on the petals. And then you flip it down and you make the white cross. And the whole time you're working this Rubik's Cube, you're keeping it on the white cross. You always come back to the white cross. And I think that's really cool because being a Christian in life, you're always coming back to the cross. Like, I mess up, I go back to the cross. And it's a white cross. Usually the cubers talk about the white cross. Then you get the white side all situated. And then you have to work on the other colors. And it's kind of like the Christian life, you know. You get the white side. You get yourself all right with God, you know. Clean your heart, like confess your sins and cleanse your heart. Search me, O God. Know me and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. We want to ask him for forgiveness so he can cleanse our hearts. So that's the bottom layer, is white. And then you start working on the other colors. And so I wrote a few different things down on Facebook. I didn't say them all, lessons from the Rubik's Cube. But last night I thought of a new one, okay? The new one is that, you know, sometimes when you're doing the Rubik's Cube, like last night, my son has figured it out. My youngest boy, he's 17 and a half. And he sat down with me and he thought it was really cool, like working, helping me learn. He figured it out. He's the first new convert to the Rubik's Cube Success Club. And so he sat down and was trying to help me with it, mine. And then he took a wrong turn. And he's like, oh no, I messed up the algorithm, and that now it's all messed up again. And to me, it looks completely messed up, you know, because everything's out of place. You're going to have to start over. But he's like, you know, it's okay. You know, we just do a few manipulations and we're back to a manageable state where we can move forward. Because you do the white on the bottom and then you do the 2 rows on the outside, which I've gotten to that part now. So the hardest part is the final moves for the top piece, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. But I got the bottom white, I got the 2 rows, I think. I have to try it again today to see if I remember it. Last night I did. But you know, it's kind of like the Christian life. We take a wrong turn and God is still with us. It's okay, you know. The cube is still intact even though you took a wrong turn. And you know, your life is still God's even though you take a wrong turn. And just with a few different manipulations, you can be back on track. So I thought it was really cool that I could come up with some kind of biblical truths just from the Rubik's Cube. And the thing about it is, it's also in my math class. It's interesting because I find that I'm giving a lot of like pep talks in my math class about why do we need to do this, and what's so important, why should we learn geometry. One of the things I love about math is that it reveals the design of God. You know, when you study even science or symmetry, anything in the world that is with numbers or like the golden ratio or anything to do with math and geometry, and you just see the design of God. Like, it's just so amazing. And so that's one of the things, is just to study the order, God's order and his design, and the truths that are hidden that we can't see unless we actually do some study about it. And another thing is, I call it brain exercise. You know, I tell the students, when you go to the gym, you know, do you say, hey, I'm going to the gym, and then you sit in a chair and watch the TV? You just watch somebody else do it. You say, why should I have to exercise? That guy's exercising, or that girl's already doing it. Why do I have to do it? No, you want to participate because you want to get in shape and you want the benefits of exercising. And I believe that, you know, school is supposed to be brain exercise. Kids are going to the gym and they're exercising their brain. And the more they exercise their brain, the more they can learn. Just like the more you walk or run, the better shape you're going to be in physically. So the more you do mentally, the better shape you're going to be in mentally for whatever it is, the task that you're going to partake in. So those are my things about learning. I'm just so sad for in my world, I see a lot of resistance to learning, and a lot of adults think it's normal, it's okay, we don't want to, you know, we don't want to push the poor little pumpkins too hard. But then with other things, they do, you know, if it's like karate, do you want your kid to stay in the white belt, or do you want them to progress? And when they become, you know, any new belt that they accomplish, they get, you know, a prize, or we go out to eat, we celebrate, you know. And we know that the more you exercise, the more you practice karate, the better you're going to be at it. How about an instrument, you know, piano? I played piano my whole life, and the more you practice, the better you're going to be at it. Or an instrument of any kind, or what else is there? My daughter plays violin, and she has played it her whole life, and now her daughter's playing it. And how about horse riding? My granddaughter loves riding the horses. We went a couple weeks ago and saw her doing some horse riding, and, you know, they practice. They don't just go out there and jump on a horse and say, you know, here we go. They practice, and they want to be good at it. They want to, she did like a little show on this big, huge horse. I can't remember what they call it, but the horse goes around in a circle, big, huge horse, almost the size of a draft horse, but not quite. Very large horse, very large back on it. And they did tricks. I couldn't believe it. They would like lay down on it, spin on it, and they even would stand on it. It was just crazy. I know I never would have done that because I was afraid of heights. I tried gymnastics, and I was like, I can do the mat, I can do the balance beam, but I'm not doing the uneven bars, and I'm not jumping and doing flips. So I knew at a very young age that I wasn't a gymnastics prodigy. Give me piano, give me the flute, let me sing. I love singing. But yeah, I wasn't that into heights. But I did like to ride horses, although I wasn't doing tricks on them. So anyway, anything you do, you have to practice. And the same with school, like handwriting. How are you going to be how are you going to write well in your handwriting? You're going to have to practice. So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate your support on my channel. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. And I'm a teacher. I'm headed on my way to school, and I just love to spend time with students, and I love to, be serious about education. To me, it's not just fun and games, And so if you've watched this far, thank you so much for watching. I just sorry. I do a study hall at 2:30 to 3, and I had a student. The kids were just chattering about nonsense. I was like, can you guys read a book or study something, or learn a topic and then discuss it instead of just jabber about nothing. And one student looks at me and says, I think you just insulted us. And I was like, well, I'm not really insulting you. I'm just telling you the truth. You need more things to think about, more things to talk about. So read something, study something. So then the next day comes, and the same student comes up to me and says, I listened to what you told me, and I thought about it, and I came up with something that I wanted to talk about. And I said, what? And he said, cars. I really like cars. Do you like cars? And I said, yeah, I like cars. Do you like engines? Yeah, I'm actually very interested in engines. I love to watch people fix cars. And so he talked about cars and engines and everything for 20 minutes nonstop. And I was exhausted. And I was like, okay, I need to stay interested. He did what I said. I got to give him credit. He did what I said. I have to give him, the praise that he is due for doing what I said. And he actually did come up with a topic that was interesting. And he sounded very adultish, to be honest. So, it was kind of cute. And I think I'll remember that for a long time. So in the midst of the crazy, sometimes you get these little, I don't know, rainbow moments where you just feel like we're making it. We're getting somewhere with these kids. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. The sky is really pretty in New Hampshire right now. The clouds are in the sky, blue skies. The sun is shining through the skies, and we're headed on our way to school. The temperature is 37 degrees, so it's a little chilly. I do have a coat in the car that I can grab. My school, it's a small Christian school. We live in modulars. Our school is basically modulars put together, and the high school is all in one section. And in order to go to the other sections, like the cafeteria and stuff, you have to go outside the building. So having a coat or an umbrella is usually pretty good. So after school today, I'm actually not going home. I'm driving south to meet my daughter, and we're going to go to an event tonight. So that's going to be cool. And we're going to have a good time. So that sounds really fun. And it is Friday. So happy Friday, everyone. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Are you a teacher? Do you have a favorite teacher? Type in the comments your favorite teacher and why. Do you have a favorite teacher that you had when you were a kid? And why is that person your favorite teacher? I teach math, but through the years I homeschooled, and I'm in New Hampshire. I homeschooled my many children, and when I had 7 left at home, we actually got asked to teach at a Christian school, and so I brought 7 kids to school, and I taught first, second, third combination class. And I did that for a year, and then they made me the math teacher for ages from first grade to 8th grade. So I did that for 2 years. Then I moved from that school to another school where I taught 5th grade, fully 5th grade. And then I did math there for a year and a half, and then we had the COVID shutdown and stuff. And then from there, I homeschooled another year, and then I found this school that I've been at now. This is my 5th year, and I teach math. I started out teaching 5th and up, and now I just do 9th and 10th. So, junior high math teacher, favorite teacher. Oh, that's awesome. And then you have to say why, because, you know, kids nowadays, their favorite teacher is whoever doesn't make them learn anything. And then when they get older, they realize, okay, now I'm changing it. I'm changing it to my favorite teacher is the one I actually did learn from. That's what I've seen happen. But one of my favorite teachers, I had really good teachers in high school. I had a really good math and science teacher at my Christian school. He was probably my favorite. And but I loved all my teachers because they all taught their topic really well. I learned so much. English teacher was great. History teachers were great. I loved all my teachers, honestly. I was telling my students, I'm not one to pick favorites. If like favorite foods, my favorite thing is like a smorgasbord. I like lots of things, and I don't like to have to narrow it down to one. So sometimes I have to pay attention to myself, you know, what is it that I really like? What's the one thing I do like spaghetti, if you're talking about food. That's one of my favorite things. But I'm a little picky, you know. If I go to a restaurant and I get spaghetti and it doesn't taste good, it's a real bummer. But I could go to a restaurant and get like steak tips, and it could be different than the steak tips at another restaurant, but it's still good. But spaghetti seems like it's either good or bad. So I usually don't order it when I go out, because usually it's weird. Either it tastes weird or the meatballs are weird or something like that. But I think I like, if I do anything with pasta like that, I like chicken parmesan. I like that because I like the crispy chicken, and I like the spaghetti with that, with some sauce. I think that would be my favorite, rather than spaghetti and meatballs. But I really loved learning when I was a kid, so I really had a lot of favorite teachers. One of my favorite teachers was my 8th grade English teacher. Back then, they put you in tracks, and they, like, I was in the A track in 7th grade, and then I didn't do as well, so they put me in the lower track for 8th grade, and I actually loved that teacher better. And she slowed things down a little bit, so I felt like I could grasp the concepts more. So instead of having like 20 vocabulary words a week, we had one a day. So that was interesting. But I remember some of those words, which is weird, because every single day we added a new word, and I remember the words. And she was a great teacher, but she endured a lot of abuse from the students, and that wasn't good. So, I mean, I'm kind of old, and I saw bad stuff happening in the schools back when I was a kid. And the students actually bullied her enough that she was out, like she quit. Even back then, that was a long time ago. So that's really sad. But she was one of my favorite teachers. So sad that the kids kind of ran her off. But I graduated 8th grade from that school. It was just 7th and 8th grade, and then I went on to the Christian school because I did not like the bullying, and I was like, get me out of here. So, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the watch time. I need some watch time on my channel. trying to grow my channel and just talking about teacher stuff, things that I learn, things that I do in my free time, maybe some helpful hints along the way. Kind of a variety show. That's what I got. A teacher variety show. So I hope you enjoy the show, and I'm actually going to sign off. And thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon on my channel. Have a great day. Bye.